old bluegrass here. So, as you know, I'm taking forever with Disillusion because I had to stop and go, hey, I need to rewrite all of this. This is gonna be fun. And I realize how frustrating that can be for readers. So, I thought I'd give you a bit of a treat. Depends on how you view my voice. It could be torture. And read to you a bit from Disillusion, the part that I'm not going to change. That's actually going to be part of the book. It's a darker interlude scene. I'm going to read the first section of this interlude for you. It's about 2,000 words, so not too long, not too short. As you know, I have chronic exhaustion, so I yawn, all the time. I do apologize in advance. I'm going to be yawning so much. Too little oxygen. That's what I tell myself. So, yeah. I'm borrowing my brother's microphone, so hopefully the sound quality will be better at least. Yay, brothers donating microphones. I have an awesome family. Anyhow, I'm gonna read to you this bit. As I said, I don't do a lot of voice acting stuff. This is good practice for me, but at the same time, I don't know how to edit, so it's just gonna be me reading it. If there's errors, I do apologize. I'll try to go slow enough that it's not stumbling over every few words or yawning constantly. I will really try not to yawn so much when I'm doing this. We'll see. I got water. I got a cat. I think I'm good to go. Alright. This is sort of in the middle of the story. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to land this interlude chapter yet. We'll see. It's a bit intense. So I don't like putting really intense stuff in between happy scenes. It's like, why is this here? Yeah, you gotta kind of fit things in. Part of the struggle of being an author, I guess. So, let's see how I do. I really do apologize, guys. I love you so much. Thank you for putting up with my horrible voice. I will stop yawning in a second, and we'll start. It's only 10:40. It's not even that late. My deal is. Alright. Interlude. Is it a kindness? Mist hung in the interior of the cave. Not a cleansing, rejuvenating mist, but a heavy veil as oppressive and persistent as a cloud of ash. It mingled with the stench of death and blood, trapping and holding it there until he felt as if he had bathed in it. But Brev held his composure as he had done for decades now. His eyes flickered to where the three Draken Equus had left. Their words still echoed even in the stillness that had followed. We wash our hands of this country, Morpheus. As for that thing, do this world a favor and slay it. The gods have forsaken us. We have no more need for a high priest. That thing lay quivering against Havoc, still sighed, seemingly unaware of the blood and viscera dripped onto his coat. It had been a clean cut, from neck to navel, one Havoc reserved for deaths meant to leave a message. Needless to say, he had succeeded. Brev shuddered to think how it felt to inflict such a wound upon oneself. The child continued to stare in a daze at the body, too shocked to cry. Under any other circumstances, the sight would have been pitiable, but not today. Today, the only feeling he had left for the beast was hate. Its kind had proven their worth well enough through the carnage those two had wrought. His anger mounted the longer he watched it breathing. What right had it to live and those ponies die? He had known some of them, good friends, loyal allies to the king. Some had even served under Havoc during the war, and yet they were swept away, inconsequential as dust in the wind. It is no good to us now. Best to slay it. Sire? There was no reply. Brev stepped forward, turning to their king. Let us finish this, Majesty. Morpheus stared at him for a moment, eyes as blank and unfeeling as he had ever witnessed. The heavy bandages were the only outward sign that he had nearly died at the hands of his former friend. Even a hardened veteran like himself could not have achieved that level of discipline. Morpheus glanced over at the child, disgust leaking out through the mask of his indifference. carry out what justice you will." The words were all the more instruction he needed. Drawing his blade, Brev advanced. As he did, it cringed, shaking like the dumb beast he was. Its misshapen body had become so coated in filth he could hardly see where to strike. A part of him wished to make it a painful death. However, he knew the creed as well as all the other guards, even if they chose to ignore it. It must be a quick, clean cut. His conscience paused for only a second as the child's eyes filled with fear. Then he swung. To his annoyance, Rolak's magenta magic held it fast. He rounded on the younger guard, who now stood behind him. "Why do you stop me?" A predatory glint shone in his eyes. "There's hardly any justice to be had in finishing him off so humanely. If we cannot punish its mother, we'll punish it." Their companion joined them, a middle-aged earth pony from one of the ravaged villages. Brev had not asked his name, and as he came for revenge, it did not matter. He bore no armor, but a hungry snarl. "It? That would imply it has been castrated. Perhaps we ought to fix that." The beast quivered violently, ears lowering submissively and tail tucked between its legs. Rolak had approached like a wolf to a cornered rabbit. What was it Havoc continually told the new recruits? Ah, yes. The worst punishment is a slow and painful death. His sword swung in a dangerously precise arc, piece by piece, just a little at a time. First his balls, then his wings, his horns, and his limbs. By the time we are finished, it will wish it were dead. The earth pony stamped his roan hooves, applauding the suggestion. Good. I should not like it to get off easy. Though 'tis a pity we'll not be able to torture it twice. Rolak chuckled, tossing the sword to the villager. "I'll let you do the first honors, then. You have earned the right to revenge as sure as any pony. Brev, do we have your approval?" For the first time in his life, Brev began to see the creed's flaws. Rolak's words rang true. This pony, all the survivors of this village, had the right to revenge. Surely such a gruesome slaughter warranted an equally cruel punishment. All he could do was nod, taking a step back. Rolak smirked, levitating the creature in his magic. The Draconicus fought weakly, but its struggles did little good. Rolak's cold laugh bounced around the cave. "Well, look at that! It's so scared it's pissed itself." "It should be scared," the villager practically purred. Just as he raised the sword to strike, Morpheus's harsh voice boomed behind them. "Enough!" Rolak dropped the beast back into the pool of blood, jolting to attention. Even their companion backed away, lowering his ears submissively. They all held their breaths, waiting. Morpheus strode forward, face unreadable. When they reached the Draconicus, he lowered his head, staring fixedly into its eyes. Then slowly, he turned back to them. "I wish for justice, as do you. However, this beast does not deserve such torment." He sighed heavily. "Take him back to the High Temple, Brev. When my business is done here, I shall personally dispose of him." Brev grimaced but nodded slowly. "It shall be done, sire. Justice would have to wait after all." And there you have it, the first 2,000 words of that interlude chapter of mine that I'm going to keep. So I will hopefully get Disillusion written out for you guys soon. Look forward to it. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.